Good morning, everyone. This is Darla Benton with R&D Benton Old Homestead, and today I want to show you how to can butter and make ghee, clarified butter. And I've been watching on YouTube about the benefits of ghee versus butter, and I've never tried it, but today I'm going to can ghee, about 12 pounds of ghee. And this weekend I canned 12 pounds of butter, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two and how to can it and the benefits of each. Now, I was looking on YouTube University this morning, and it was telling about ghee being good for arthritis. It's got vitamins in it, all the different things that regular butter doesn't have. And apparently, I've never bought ghee, but it's spelled G-H-E-E. I've never bought it, but apparently it's very expensive in the store. And if you make it, it's about the price of butter. So you don't lose that much volume in making the ghee. And so I'm going to show you how to do that today. And I'm going to can mine. Now, some people said that it's not necessary to can it. It's got a forever shelf life. But I think I'd feel better by canning mine. And I've got my jars heating up right now in the oven, and I'm going to take those out pretty quick. Sorry I didn't get a video out last week. I was helping Randy unload our sawmill that came in, and I was pulling things out of the pickup and turning around and putting it onto the tractor tines, and my hand slipped and I fell back into the tractor tines. So I've had trouble walking for the last week, but I'm better now, and so we'll try to get videos out regularly as we go. And I just want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you coming along and joining our homestead. And if you subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. If you're watching on TV, there's no way to subscribe. So if you have a tablet or a phone, if you hit the subscribe button, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you hit the bell, it'll notify you when we put out new videos each time. And we're excited about showing you our homestead and how we're going to be self-sufficient here. And it's just a lot of fun to make the videos to show our grandkids and kids what we do. They don't all live close by. And the really exciting part is Randy retires the 31st of this month. Well, that's 8 more working days. And I don't know if you can see the time behind me. It's after 8, but I've already been up we got up at 4 and got him off to work, and then I started canning, and this has been our life for 45 years, just work, work, work. And he's getting ready to retire, and the man deserves it. He's been just a workaholic, just does a great job and still has time for the family. I love him to death, and I couldn't say better things about him. He's just wonderful. And so he gets to retire the 31st, and we have the sawmill here. We're getting ready to set that up, and he's already almost got the carriage together. He stood out there in 40-degree weather the other day, and it was raining, and he was just working away at putting the carriage together. So we should have the sawmill together in a week or so. Hopefully, when he gets completely retired, we'll have more time to do the homesteading stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go for now, and then I'm going to show you what we're doing with the butter. I have 6 pounds of unsalted and 6 pounds of salted butter in this pan, and I'm going to make my second batch of ghee. And I'll show you right now. I have the first batch is in the pressure canner, and it has to be at 10 pounds for 75 minutes. Now, some people are saying that you don't have to can it, that it has a good shelf life, but I was just going to be safe and can it anyway. I see some people do, some people don't. And I canned the butter at 75 minutes at 10 pounds as well. So while this is on the stove melting, we'll talk about what stage it has to get to for butter and then what stage it has to get to for ghee. This is what I came up with to strain the ghee through. With 12 pounds of butter, I needed something kind of bigger. And so this is just a jelly strainer, and then I wrapped the gauze around with a rubber band. And it worked pretty good the last time I did it, so I burned myself and went too quick, and some of it went down the drain, and I'm sure Lucas don't listen to that. My son-in-law is a plumber, and he just hates me sometimes. But I put lots of hot water and soaked down after. So anyway, this works really good if you're going to do a large batch of ghee and you have to strain it after it gets finished. As far as the fan goes, I'm sorry, it comes on automatically. I can't turn it off, and it gets going when things get really hot over in that corner, which is why we want to change the kitchen, because, I mean, really, who puts a stove right up against the wall in the corner? But that's the way the house was when we bought it, so we will have to fix that as soon as we get a chance and get the sawmill going so we can make the addition. So I'm going to put those jars in the oven and get ready for the butter. It's not ready yet, it's just now melting. And I'm still working on the ghee that's in the pressure cooker. So as soon as that gets out and the butter gets ready, and I'll show you the difference between when to can the butter and when to can the ghee. This is actually a really good time to can the butter. The foam is starting to break. At this point, you could skim the foam off and put it in hot jars and can it 10 pounds for 75 minutes. But if you're going to go ahead and do the ghee, like I plan on doing, then let it go. This foam will dissipate, and it'll start to, the solids will start to sink to the bottom. And then when you're stirring, do not stir those solids up. Let them go ahead. They might get a little burn on the bottom, not burn, but they stick to the bottom. Don't stir it in with your ghee. Let it go until you can see clearly to the bottom. The second foam will come up and it will start to break like this, but it'll be clear. And I'll show you when we get to that point. The first foam has dissipated and the solids are starting to kind of stick to the bottom. So as I'm stirring now, I'm just going to stir from the top. I'm not going to go down into the solids that are starting to stick. And I'm going to wait till this turns pretty clear and the second foam comes up and it goes away and you can see to the bottom. So now at this point, do not stir from the bottom if it's sticking. I just took the first cannerful of ghee whiz, I don't know what to call this stuff, the clarified butter out of the canner. It's still too hot to really touch, but there is the ghee and here's the butter. So you can see how clear it is, and there will be another cannerful of the clarified butter coming out in an hour or so, but here's the difference between the two. I started out with 12 pounds of butter, 6 unsalted and 6 salted, and I got 10 pints of clarified butter. That same amount, 12 pounds of butter, 6 and 6, salted and unsalted, I got 13 pints of butter. So you'll know how to adjust your jars for whichever one you're doing. Here's the second foam. And it's going to be pretty quick now. that we can start dishing this into the jars, because it's getting clear and the solids are sinking. So I'm just gonna keep stirring it for a little while, and it's getting really close. I just wanted to show how much it has reduced since we started. You can see the line where it was originally melting, and it's reduced to quite a bit. And trying to show a light on here so you can see the color. It's a really pretty color, and I think it's about ready. I'm going to start putting it in the jars. Okay, so it's time to strain this. I'll try not to pour it in the sink this time. When the cheesecloth starts to get kind of clogged, you have to slow down a little bit, but it's doing a good job of straining out the solids. Okay, so I'm going to let that drain for a little bit, And I'm going to put the rest of it in a gravy thing that takes the grease out of the gravy. And we'll just use that for right away. And here's what I wanted to show. The solids are in the bottom. Well, they're not scorched, but they are stuck to the bottom of the pan. And that's the part you don't want to be stirring. And I'm just going to let this set, and when it all the solids sink to the bottom, we'll pour that off, and then I'll put the rest of this in a bowl and put it in the refrigerator to use right away. Okay, I got my jars out of the oven, and I'm going to start filling them up. I wished I had a metal ladle, but I don't. I just got this plastic one, and I don't like using plastic, but it is all I have. And I'm only going to show you this one because I want to show you how full I fill my jars. So that is about as full as I want it. It's just about to the rim here. And I'll fill them all up. Okay, I have white vinegar in the cup, and I'm going to use it to clean the tops of the jars because regular water doesn't work with all this grease. And I'm sure I swapped it. Quite a bit. I'll do one more just because I don't want those lids to be on grease or they won't seal. And then you put your lids on. And I know they say you don't have to do this anymore, but I still give my lids a quick scald. Okay, and now we're ready for the rings. When you put the lids on, if you're going to be showing this at the fair or anything, you would probably want the writing on your jar and the writing on the lid to kind of line up. But I'm not showing this at the fair, so I'm going to put the lids on. Okay, so I can get 8 pints in the bottom, and I'm going to put another lid, another cover over that. And I'm going to put these others on the top of them. Now I only have about this much water in the canner, and it's good and hot. It's been going for a while. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on. Moving that once they're in there, but I had it on there pretty. Okay, all that's left now is to let the steamer steam for 10 minutes, and then after it's done steaming, I'll put the counterweight on it for 10 pounds, and it'll be perfect. But this has to steam for 10 minutes and it hasn't started yet, so I'll start timing it when it does. And then I'm going to put the weight on it, and the weight is for the poundage for here is the 10 pounds. Little hole right there. I'll put that over the steam vent, and once it gets up to 10 pounds, then I start timing at 75 minutes. Okay, it's the next morning, and all of the jars are out of the canner, and they've set overnight, and 13 pints of butter, and I'm gonna be able to use those on the shelf for at least 5 years, if not more. They say that the ghee is, you can keep it forever on the shelf. Now, it stays more like an oil until you put it in the fridge. So, there you go. Thanks for joining me, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and hope to see you guys back on our next video, where we'll be putting the carriage together for the sawmill, and Randy will be trying to get that together in spite of our weather. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and give me some comments if you see anything that I might have done wrong or something I could have done better. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and God bless America.